Hey guys, George here from Zero Period Productions and welcome to today's video. Today I want to talk about why YouTubers join YouTube networks, and since this is part of my weekly vlog series, I'm obviously going to make this about me and my experience while also going into other details about what it means to join a network and some of the benefits of doing so. So for those of you who don't know, I am partnered with Maker Studios and I have been for over 4 years now. That's a long time to be with the network, but I'm honestly pretty happy with it. Odds are you've heard of Maker in the past couple of years if you follow anything that goes on in YouTube, because Maker was purchased by Disney back in 2014 for $675 million, and more recently, Maker was in the news because Disney and Maker dropped their largest creator, and the largest creator, PewDiePie, because of alleged anti-Semitic and very controversial videos and posts that he had made in the past few months. Now, this isn't going to be a video about me discussing what happened with PewDiePie and my thoughts on that. That's been discussed to death by every YouTuber under the sun. I want no part in this conversation. It's been happening for so long now, and there's a lot of different thoughts on it. There's a lot of people who are reacting very strongly to both sides of this argument, and I just don't really want to get involved because I honestly see no point in making my thoughts and my opinions on this matter known at all. You also might have heard about Maker recently because of the fact that they're dropping the vast majority of their partners on YouTube. And when I say vast majority, I don't mean 2/3, I don't mean 3/4, I mean they have 60,000 or more than 60,000 partners on YouTube right now, and they're dropping almost all of them. They're going down to 300 or so is the number that is being reported upon. So they're going to be left with less than 1% of their current partnered YouTubers, and they just want to apparently focus a bit more on like the top tier creators and make it a bit more of an exclusive network. And at first I thought it might be just a rumor, but in the past few days I got an email from Maker about how they are changing some things and that I will be receiving more information soon about what that meant for my my relationship with them, is how I think they phrased it. And that's never something you want to hear. That's like when your girlfriend messages you and says, "We need to talk." You know where that's going. That means that is the end. Maker is essentially saying like, "Hey, we need to talk." And I'm like, "Uh-oh. All right, they're going to give me the whole it's not you, it's me thing." What this means for me though is, well, first off, I have to wait for them to give me more details. I don't know if this means that they're going to hold on to me until the end of my contract, which is later this year, or if they're going to try and just get people out of the network sooner rather than later. I'm not sure, and I have to keep waiting for that, but I was already kind of looking at other networks anyway when I heard this rumor, and once I got that email, I definitely started taking offers from other networks a bit more seriously, because now I'm realizing, oh, I'm not going to be here much longer. So I joined Maker Studios back in early 2013, and at the time, I had very few subscribers. I had about 2,000 or so, maybe 3,000, and I realized that to some people 2,000 or 3,000 sounds like a lot, but when you're trying to become like a full-time YouTuber, 2,000 is nothing, 3,000 is nothing. So at the time, I was very happy to have the subscribers I had, but I was also in this point where I was like, I really want to grow, I really want to expand, and I realized that a network isn't going to do that for you. You have to do all your growth yourself, but there's still things that networks can do to help you along the way, just kind of on the back end, kind of on the business end, and that's what I was interested in. And how it worked was Maker sent a contract, and in the contract it specifies your contract is for this long, you enter on this date, you leave at this date, it will be renewed for this many years, or it'll be renewed for this amount of time. If you don't, cancel your contract with us, and you agree to give them a portion of your YouTube earnings. I can't go into details just because you're really not supposed to go into details of contracts for a lot of things. That's why you're signing contracts in the first place. So I agreed to the amount that they wanted to take from my channel. I said, yeah, this is fine. Essentially, I was still doing YouTube just as a hobby. The money was nice, but it really wasn't anything that I cared about too much. So just the fact that I'd be able to grow it and expand my hobby through them was enough for me at the time. Now, as time went on and the channel got larger, I actually got offered new contracts from Maker, and they actually gave me a better revenue split. So I got more of my money, they got less of it, and it worked out pretty well. It was never really this feeling of I was being taken advantage of. It was always something that I willingly agreed to, and I realized what I wouldn't be making because they'd be taking this certain amount of my money. But I was like, it's fine because I'm getting support and I'm getting help, and it's everything that I kind of want them to do for me, so it's really not an issue for me. And over the years, there were just a lot of different benefits to being with Maker that definitely made it worth giving them like a percentage of my YouTube earnings. So much so that I was like, yeah, this is definitely a good deal for me. I got access to royalty-free music. I got access to Spreadshirt Premium for a few years, which is really nice. There were different advertising opportunities, different sponsorship offers, everything that I really could have asked for, and getting all these different business contacts as well. Not just other YouTubers who were in the network, but I got put in touch with people from developers and publishers, and it was just one of those things where these are contacts that I probably would not have made on my own just because of the fact that I was a smaller YouTuber. But having Maker behind me to reach out to these people and say, hey, this is someone that you should talk to or that you should look at, that was something that really helped because it got my foot in the door for a lot of different things. Now, my absolute favorite thing about being with Maker was when I went to conventions, because it felt like they really rolled out the red carpet for me. And they were doing that for pretty much all their YouTube partners, but I really felt special. I really felt like I was being welcomed and being brought into this community, which was a really incredible feeling. Now, this really only applies to PAX for me because that's really the only conventions that I've gone to, but Maker also went to VidCon and Playlist Live and a lot of the conventions like that. And they always asked if I was going, because if I was going, I'd go to the Maker dinners, the Maker parties, stuff like that. And even this year, after E3, Maker had a really cool thing where the day after E3 ended, they were like, hey, any of our partners who are still here in LA after E3, just come out to Disneyland and you get a free day at Disneyland, which is goddamn incredible. And I didn't get a chance to go just because I had already booked my travel and everything, but still, just a really cool opportunity. They do a lot for their partners, especially at conventions. But like I said, my experience with Maker at conventions is mainly in regards to PAX, and Maker's given me passes to 4 or 5 different PAXs now, which means I don't have to spend money on tickets. I can focus more on my travel, my hotel, and just even spending money on food and stuff like that, or just buying stuff at the conventions too, which is, it's really incredible because I don't need to worry about it. And if you've bought passes to PAX East before, you know that it is a hassle. That the second that passes go on sale, that you have to buy them or they will sell out. It's the same for PAX Prime. I've never gone, but East, it's still really crazy. Saturday passes sold out within, I think, a couple hours this year. It's ridiculous how fast passes sell out. And it was always this great thing of Maker got me passes whenever I asked for it. And even this year, with PAX East coming up next week, and there's this whole thing about Maker allegedly dropping all their partners, I still got passes from them. And it's really just, I really appreciate it, is the thing. But honestly, that's just where my experience with Maker starts at conventions. There's a lot more to it than just me getting free passes so that I can go in the first place. Maker usually has a booth at the different PAX conventions, whether it's PAX East, PAX South, PAX Prime, you name it. And at 3 of the PAXs that I've gone to, PAX East twice and PAX South once, I was actually asked to be on stage for several of their on-stage events, which was really goddamn incredible to me. At PAX East 2015, Maker gave me an incredible opportunity to do on-stage stuff, to the point where they gave me my own time slot for my own live Let's Play at their booth. And not only could people at the show floor watch it just around the booth, but it was also being streamed to their YouTube channel, which is really absolutely incredible because it gave me, this small YouTuber with maybe 20,000 subscribers at the time, this opportunity to reach a much larger platform, a much larger audience. Not just everyone there at the convention, but anyone who is watching Maker's live stream at all. And Maker has a huge audience, so that opportunity really, really helped me out, and I'm always going to be grateful for that. And the fact that they had me on for various other things throughout the weekend. Not my own things, but I was on stage with various other creators and got to meet some incredible people, some of whom I'm still talking to, and I think they're a little sad to hear that the whole thing with Maker's going down anyway, because we were all very happy with Maker. We were all very happy to be a part of this community together. And kind of talking about all this stuff now does make me very nostalgic for the time that I've had with Maker, and it makes me a little sad that I'm leaving the network, or that I'll probably be leaving the network. This is going to be the last convention that I go to with Maker's help, but that's okay because I am looking at other networks and I am trying to see if I can get a similar experience from another network that I've gotten with Maker. And I'm sure it's possible, because I have a lot of friends on YouTube who are with other networks, and they feel like their network has just rolled out the red carpet for them at conventions or just on YouTube in general. But it's just one of those things where finding a connection that works for me, finding a network that is going to benefit me as much as Maker has in the past. And I have a few written down. I have a few that I've done research on. It's just a matter of making these connections, reaching out to people, and hoping that I can cultivate a relationship the same way that I did with Maker early on. But this kind of leads into the main topic of the video, which is why YouTubers join networks in the first place. And I think part of it is just that people join networks because they feel there is some sort of stability to being with a network, whether it's just because you have what is essentially the backing of this company. Because when you sign on with a network, it's essentially a company saying, we support you, we are behind you, we agree that we support your endeavors on YouTube. And in your contract, it'll specify like, oh yeah, no, you're not an employee, you're technically an independent contractor, stuff like that. But it's still this thing of you can use your network just as a way to get your foot in the door and say, oh, I'm with this network. And if you're with a larger network like Maker or Machinima or Curse or Fullscreen, it's one of those things where you can say, I'm with Fullscreen, and people will immediately think of, you know, the other large YouTubers in that network, and they say, oh, okay, I know who you're with, and it gives you sort of a credibility on YouTube almost. Now, I've found that the number one thing that people complain about when it comes to joining a network is the fact that there is a revenue split, that you are agreeing to give your network part of your revenue. And this is where I would say it becomes very personal in terms of making a decision. You have to decide what you think this network is worth to you. The network that is offering you a contract, you have to decide if this is worth giving up X amount of your money, this percentage of your money to them, and if you feel that you're going to get that money back from them just in terms of support and everything else. And I definitely feel like I got my money's worth with Maker. I definitely feel like they earned their split of my revenue that I gave them because of the fact that I got so many different benefits from them. I'm not just counting going to conventions and being in their onstage stuff, because I realized that helped them just as much as it helped me, because they needed people in these time slots anyway. I also got access to royalty-free music. I got access to a dedicated like channel manager who helped me like create strategies for creating videos and everything like that. Everything that I could have thought of, from copyright strikes to just scheduling videos and everything, just kind of on the back end of making content. She was just really helpful with that. And if you can get that in a network, you're really golden, honestly. And there were other services too that were great through Maker. There were different advertising opportunities. There were access to various sites and services like Spreadshirt Premium, Epoxy, Fiverr, you name it. There were a lot of different benefits that I really could have taken better advantage of, but I used them when I needed to, and they were always helpful because they were there and available and ready for me to use whenever I wanted to use them. So my advice is definitely that if you're looking to sign on with a network, find out what services they have on offer, find out what sites they're partnered with, find out what you can get in exchange for this revenue split that you're agreeing to, because you want to make the most of it. You want to get your money back. If they're going to take this amount of your money, you want to know that they are there for you. And that is my biggest recommendation if you are looking to sign with a network at all. Don't just give away part of your money for no reason. Do it because you're getting something out of this. Do it because you're going to make money back on this choice to sign on with a network for 1 or 2 or however many years you're going to do with them. And kind of contrary to everything that I've said in this video so far, I'm also thinking about possibly taking a few months just on my own and not being with a network and just kind of going solo for a couple months to see how that goes, to see if there is any real sort of difference to me aside from the fact that I'd get 100% of my revenue in the first place. So it's hard to say what's going to happen. I'm definitely looking at different networks right now. I'm definitely talking to people to try and figure out what's the best deal I can get, if I can get something even better than what I had with Maker. But it is kind of just a long, drawn-out business process, which I like, but it's still a lot of work, and it takes away time from me making videos, unfortunately. But I still get everything done in the end, and I guess that's really what matters. It's a matter of just balancing everything, because YouTube, in the end, if you want to do this as a career, it's not just recording and uploading. It's a whole lot of other things if you want to grow, and it's something to consider. And that's what being in a network is about in the end. It's trying to find ways to grow through another company. And if you can't grow through a company, then it's really not in your best interest to be with them in the first place. So before I end today's video, I want to talk very briefly about the Patreon. And in case you don't know, I do have a Patreon page that helps fund things that I do on the channel, and especially right now, with everything that's going on between travel and possibly being let out of my network, it really does help having people who support me directly and monetarily. One of the things that I do on Patreon as sort of a thank you for supporting me is I do monthly giveaways. And 4 times a year, there are plushie giveaways. So if you haven't seen them before, we've had these little plushes made. They're always beautiful. And this coming month, for March 2017, is a really incredible month because we have a plushie giveaway and a game giveaway. And I guess the best way to describe it is this is essentially Mass Effect March, because Mass Effect Andromeda is coming out, and the Mass Effect franchise is one of my favorite video game franchises in the world. So this month, if you sign up on Patreon under the second tier, the Patron Pro tier, you get access to the giveaways, and you have a chance to win either a beautiful Mass Effect N7 George plush, or a copy of Mass Effect Andromeda on a platform of your choice, that is PC, Xbox One, or PS4. It'll be a digital code if you win it, and I'll send that to you, and it'll be very lovely. So go and check out Patreon if you haven't already. If you're interested in that, definitely sign up for this coming month of March 2017. Once you're signed up, you'll find more details there. I'll be posting about the giveaways and everything there. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. If you have any more questions about YouTube, networks, anything like that, please feel free to ask. I'm happy to talk about it anytime. And have a good one. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.